always the shortest one. Back in the 1990s, when Arthur and I were living up in the wilds of Washington County in Millbridge, as he's already talked to you about, we had 3 cats living with us, sharing their house with us. And their names were Fred, Sophie, and Ollie. And each was a character in his or her own way. And for Christmas of 1994, I decided to make a collection of stories, true stories, about each of the cats and their antics around our household. At the time, I only had 5 grandchildren, now I have 10. These things happen. So the 2 poems are doggerel, really. What I'm going to read to you this afternoon are from the point of view of Fred, the cat who climbed onto the greenhouse and couldn't get back down again. Fred was a ginger tabby with a whole lot of self-possession, but not a whole lot of sense all the time. And before I read these, I'm going to have to explain the concept of giant cats. A biologist named Desmond Morris some years ago wrote a book called Cat Watching. And in this book he posited the theory that to a domestic cat, a house cat, human beings are a sort of bumbling species of cat, which they think of as giant cats. So you need to know that in order to understand Fred's point of view about the human beings in his household. The first one is called On the Lamb, or The Day It Rained Lamburger. One day, when I was a youngster cat, a stripling was I, no more than a sprat, from the shed, giant cat began to drag a contraption on legs and a giant bag of squarish black objects that looked like rocks. I said to myself, well, bless my socks. Better hang around and see what's to see. Curiosity's got the better of me. She crumpled some paper and lit a fire. Great billows of smoke. This could be dire, I allowed with my ears pricked up. Meow! What can giant cat be up to now? Soon, however, the smoke died away, and I thought, that's all the thrills for today. She put down her tongs and went into the house, so off I meandered to look for a mouse. Later, I happened to be strolling by when all of a sudden, out of the sky, and I'm not making this up, not at all, chunks of heaven commenced to fall all around me and onto the sand. I sampled a piece. Hey, this is grand. Then I noticed her dancing about, red in the face and fixing to shout, "Stop! Drop that Lamburger, kitty!" Well, I have to admit it was somewhat gritty. No doubt she advised me to leave it alone in case I might carelessly swallow a stone. But I do my duty when duty does call, and quick as a bunny, I ate it all. Waste not, want not, said I with a smile. Of course, I had to lay low for a while. Now, whenever she hauls out the grill, I remember the day I ate my fill, and I lurk nearby in the neighborhood. 'Tis an ill wind that blows nobody good. The second and last one I'm going to read is called Bat Out of Hell. Those 2 giant cats were at it again. On the couch I was peaceably napping, And then, with feathers and fuss, they charged into the room, waving a long-handled mop and a broom, hysterically crying, "Out, out, you dang bat!" I opened an eye and inquired, "Say what?" "A bat's in the house. He'll possibly poop, or fly in our hair, or land in the soup." Now, a bat is naught but a small flying mouse. No cause to go tearing all over the house, making racket enough to awaken the dead. Not to mention a slumbering cat named Fred. They opened the deck door and urged him to go, but the mischievous bat was enjoying the show, and nimbly he glided from high beam to rafter, those two klutzy giant cats lumbering after, brandishing push broom and dust-shedding mop, confusingly shouting, "Go, go! Stop, stop!" At last he decided, enough of this flap. Next time he swooped by, I snatched him a snap. Giant cats think they're smart, but they don't know a thing about leaping just right to bite on the wing a bird or a bat or a big butterfly, most any winged beastie that might flutter by. "Fred's got him!" she shouted, and grabbed me before I knew what had happened, and ran for the door. Outside on the deck, she gave me a shake that rattled my bones. The whole earth seemed to quake. So startled was I that I opened my jaw, and the critter exploded right out of my maw. In seconds, that bat, he swung by his toes from the roof and was grinning and thumbing his nose at the two giant cats, but also at me. That gargoyle-faced rodent, a pox on all three. So tell me, my friends, do you think that was fair when I helpfully plucked that old bat from the air? Was treating me that way ungrateful or not? Are giant cats totally crazy, or what?